Welcome to the Landlady Listen. The podcast where we talk all things real estate, development, and the mindset it takes to build your dream life. I'm your host, Meg Hayden, real estate broker, new construction expert, and a believer in making big visions into a reality. So if you're ready to build it, dream it, and live it, let's dive in. Hey guys, it's Meg Hayden with the Landlady Listens. I'm so happy to have you guys here listening. I appreciate you. And today we have an amazing guest, Lina from Washington Trust. I invited her on because number one, we've met years ago. And number two, they have the most amazing programs for buyers out there. And I just feel like it is all about exposing access to funds for everyone that is looking to especially buy multi-units. I think it's really important. So without further ado, Lina.
Hi, Meg.
How are you?
Good. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh my
it's so
God.
Great to be here with you. I'm
You
so
look
excited.
gorgeous.
Thanks, you too. So yes, I really appreciate you reaching out and just getting a little bit more information about our program. So with Washington Trust, I'm a community lending officer, so I deal with a lot of first-time buyers, a lot of second buyers. So we have many programs that can help people in this environment, right? A lot of people get scared, like the interest rates are crazy, the house prices are going insane. So they're like, where do we start? Originally, it costs nothing to get pre-approved, right? Your lender shouldn't be charging you anything. If they do, kind of walk away. But we see what program best fits you, right? So if you're a first-time buyer needing down payment assistance, we have that program in place. If you're a first-time buyer that qualifies for a rate discount program, we also can see your qualifications and make sure that you fit that program. Because that program is one of my favorites. It's called the Homeowner Opportunity Program. You can get a 2% rate discount.
Wow.
1% rate discount, right? So it's extremely awesome, especially if you can get in that program. You can save thousands of dollars, right? Because we're talking about rates are around 6.3 as of today. So if you could get 2% less than that, I mean, your mortgage payment is probably like $1,700 difference a month. So it's
That's
very
wild.
awesome. Yeah. And another thing, too, that I really love about Washington Trust is that we partner, right? You mentioned grants. We partner with Federal Bank of Boston, and they have crazy grants out there for first-time buyers. So we have a grant that offers $50,000 down payment assistance, right?
What?
Right. Or you get a 25 or 30. So depending on where you fall into, again, these grants are lottery, but you can get these grants and they're forgivable after 5 years.
What do you mean by lottery?
So it is first come, first serve. Mm-hmm. So if you do get
There's a certain pool of money that's available.
Correct. So every lender that partners with Federal Bank of Boston, they get a pool of money. So we submit, how much we can get at the time. So when we have the pool of money, now it's first come, first serve. So that's why I say anyone that's in the market, definitely partner with any lender that is partnered with Federal Bank of Boston, because there's disbursements throughout the year. So I believe July 1st, well, just today, is actually another set that was just dispersed. So we had 3 people get $50,000, right? Which is unheard of.
That's wild.
Right.
So how do we get that?
Yeah. So the first step is to finding out, right, where you're pre-approved, finding out where you are, because there are income limits, right? These programs are mainly for first-time buyers. So we want to make sure to see where you are, and then we can determine what program is best.
So what's the income limit for those massive grants?
So it depends on where the property is. Mm-hmm. So for example, I have one in place right now, it's $134,000. So if you make over 134, then you kind of disqualify yourself.
Okay. Which is still a decent amount. I thought it was going to be like 80.
Yes, it is a decent amount. Again, it depends on where the property is. But again, if that grant doesn't fit you, then we can move on to the next grant. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And figure out which is the best.
And then you said it's forgivable after 5 years.
Correct. Yes. So it's prorated throughout the years, but after 5 years, it's kind of gone. You don't pay it back. There's no monthly payment. It's gone. So imagine 50,000 getting added to like down payment. Now that's helping.
It's huge.
Exactly.
So income limits on those grants have to be in the property for 5 years. And then are they location specific? Like, is it town? Does it go by towns? Like, are there any credit limits? What are the other requirements?
So we do have some credit limits. So at least you've got to be at least a 660 right now to get into the kind of programs. But for example, we have our rate discount program that is area specific. So we go based off the census tract areas. And the census tract is basically a government tract map that we use a website for to determine where the property fits. But the grants, the 50, the 30, and the 25, is no area specific. So as long as the lender is partnered with Federal Bank of Boston, and of course it is a lottery based, but you can't apply for it. So the property doesn't matter. It's
That's
more so
insane.
Right.
That's why I had you on the show, because I actually went and heard you guys speak at actually one of my clients. He owns Sharks, a Peruvian restaurant.
Yes.
And my friend OT, she's like, come on, we're gonna go get free Peruvian food. And I was like, I do like a lomo saltado. So we went and I'm like listening to you guys talk about all your different programs, and I just don't see that out there, that there's like that many grants. Of course, we see a lot of grants come through Rhode Island Housing, but those are typically like, we were just talking with Ann Sabaugh from Seacoast, which is hilarious because Ann did Lina's first mortgage.
Yes, shout out to Ann.
Yeah, Ann, she's the best. OT said, if I were ever a white woman, I would be Ann. She came in here.
She was awesome. She did my mortgage in 2016. And again, I didn't know anything about real estate because I wasn't in the market at that time. And she was just awesome. She held my hand all the way through.
She's like a mother.
Yes, she was a mother. She was like a mortgage mother. I was like, thank you so much.
She's Ann, the mortgage mother.
We're going to call you mortgage mother Ann.
No, shout out to Ann.
No, but she was great. Again, it's great to know what lender offers what. Like, for example, to see what Ann has. I love to reconnect with her because I haven't spoken with her since 2016. So it's something that...
crazy 9 years.
Yeah, right. Then you
and she actually had her card in her bag. Like, they just ran into each other. That's why I also love the show, because I end up, like, I stack everyone. And so I do, I do multiple interviews throughout the day. And then everyone hasn't seen each other. Like, for people like, oh, I haven't seen that person in forever. And I'm like, it's great.
It's crazy too. Real estate, it makes the world a little smaller, right? Because we're all in the same field. But I still have her card in my bag, but I couldn't find it because my junk in my
That is
purse.
Hilarious. Yeah. But those things, those like purses when you're a mom, just like they're just an endless, you have no idea, but there's also everything you need in there.
Right. It just takes me a minute to find it, but I know it's
there. So, all right. So you can get like $50,000 forgivable grant for 5 years. That's wild. Then, no, what was that one called?
So that's partnered with Federal Bank of Boston.
Okay. Yeah. And then you have the other program that you're able to reduce your rate, and that was location specific.
Correct.
To Rhode Island.
Yes, correct. So that's only a Washington Trust program. It is called the Homeowners Opportunity Program. So
can you get both of them, though? Could you get like the grant and shut up?
Yes.
Wild.
I've partnered a lot of them with the grant, and people are like paying less than their rent. And I'm not even like joking. Like, I have a customer, we closed last month. She's paying $1,700 for her mortgage. And you're like, wait, what? Yes, it can happen. Again, I would just highly shop around, figure out what lender is best for you. Again, these lotteries, it is a lottery based on these grants, but if you can get into it.
But who cares? You're like, you call you up, you're like, all right, Lina, when's the next grant round?
Exactly.
I'll start looking around there, have all my stuff ready to go, be able to pull the trigger. And now for those programs, so are you getting like pre-approved with it?
So
and then how does that work?
Yeah, so I don't do the pre-approval with it because, again, it is lottery based.
Right.
So I do the pre-approval just as standard and just give you an idea. And then if we do find the property, I say, hey, here's the grants are available. Let's get these in. And we got to get those documents. Like, we got to move fast because I don't want you to miss the opportunity. If I'm telling you there's a grant out there that we may be eligible for, let's fill out these forms and let's submit them.
What do you need to fill out for those?
So there's a standard Federal Bank of Boston forms that we fill out. And it's basically just kind of going over the same things that we did with the application.
Oops. That's my alarm. I had this. This is so funny. So I, of course, put it on Do Not Disturb. But I was talking to this girl. Actually, I met her and she was talking all about like finances and how we have our own financial blocks because of our preconceived notions of money or whatever we've been taught or whatever we say to ourselves.
Right.
And so anyway, so I was like, yeah, I'll have a 30-minute call with her. So she was like, okay. So she like asked me about money and my feelings about money. And then she makes you come up with this like mantra that you're supposed to say to yourself every day.
Okay.
And then she's like, so what's your favorite number? I was like, I don't know. I'm like 24. I'm like, but 11 is like a really good powerful number.
Yep.
She's like, all right, so let's do like 11:24. She said, set a timer every day. So this timer goes off every day.
I love that.
And then you have to say that your mantra. And my mantra is like, I'm a businesswoman and I am able to like create wealth, keep my money and multiply it.
Yes,
and so there it is.
Oh my God.
11:24. I'm going to give you her. Yeah, I'm going to give you her information because it was like, it's like the first time that you just honestly talk about, you know, your feelings towards money. And I think that, you know, everything in life is really about energy and what we say to ourselves and how we talk to ourselves.
Absolutely.
And then also just like the feel, like how we feel, like the being part. Because you could say as much as you want, but if you feel that you are not like abundant and wealthy and all these things, then it's never going to come to you.
Of course.
So it's been this like really interesting little reminder.
I love that. It's like an affirmation reminder. Like, hey, speak words of affirmation and they come true, right?
Yeah.
Like resetting your mindset.
Yeah.
And that's so important because sometimes in real estate, like we get so caught up with the transaction or figuring things out that we forget, like, hey, take care of our mental self. You know what I mean? So I actually love that because that's a reminder. Like, hey, relax. You got this. You'll figure it out.
Yeah.
And remind yourself, like, who you are. That's pretty cool. I love that.
And that you're always, like, taken care of.
Yeah, right.
You know?
Because you're calling that energy, and that energy is reciprocating back into the world, right?
Yeah, because that's scared money.
Scared money
don't make money, but it's also like being scared of even scarcity. Right. You know, it's never gonna because then it all comes from you.
Right.
So
I love that. That's so awesome. Yeah, you have to give me her number because I love that. I love talking about like affirmation, reset, and mindset. I think that's something I need to focus on this year because it's kind of like real estate, right? I love what I do.
It's a tough market in the lending market.
Yes.
In the lending world.
It is.
But not when you have $50,000.
Yes,
grant.
It does help. And with the programs we have, Washington Trust, I was able to close. Like last year, we did 52. I did 52 closed loans last year. And I was not expecting that because, again, even some seasoned loan officers that haven't been in the real estate market for that long, they're like, how did you do it? I don't know.
You're like, we have really great programs.
Yeah.
We have a great product.
That's number one. But I just didn't.
But it's true.
I didn't pay attention to transaction because I don't like paying attention to transactions.
No.
Just like, look, let's go on to the next, right? We're helping people one step at a time. So by the time at the end of the year, he's like, you did 52 transactions. I'm like, I did.
You turn around, you're like, yeah, I guess.
I guess
it happened.
Yeah, I guess it did. So, but
congratulations.
Yes, the programs did help. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Yes. Yeah.
All right. So we have the $50,000 grant. Crazy. Then we have the reduction in rate. So what are the towns for that? Did we talk about that? No,
we didn't. So it's pretty much throughout all of Rhode Island, but except for like rural areas. Like we're talking about, so it's cities within cities. So for example, certain areas in Providence, certain areas in Cranston, West Warwick. So it's mainly like rural areas are out, like Lincoln, Cumberland, Smithfield, kind of those areas
More
are
cities.
right. So it's more of the census tract areas and more city areas. And I feel like that helps right now because I think a lot of those multis, especially the first time buyers that want that, that extra income to help pay their mortgage, that's where they're looking into anyway. So it definitely does help. You know what I mean? But we do have a map that we kind of can send out to realtors, send out to buyers so that
that'd be
they
great.
know.
Send that, yeah.
Yeah, I can send you it. It's like a list. I get a daily list and say, hey, here's the properties that just hit the last 24 hours. That's in our program discount. Yeah, so I can send you that so you can have that too. So you can not always searching, hey, what property kind of qualifies. You already have the list in play.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Yeah.
All right. So what other programs? I mean, you guys had a million. So what other ones?
So we do the standard too, partner with Rhode Island Housing. We still do that as well. They're a great partner of ours. We're actually on their top 10 list this year, so which is pretty good. So there's different, then we have different I Love RI programs. So if you need help with like closing costs, we have Buyer's Advantage. So if you need help with maybe a first and second loan, so whatever program, it's kind of hard to dictate, hey, you fit in this one bucket because you might fit in two, right? And I might give you the option. I say, hey, Meg, let's look at this option and let's look at that option. But you help, let's talk it through and figure out what's the best route, right? And then there's those people that might not be ready to buy. And then we have a program for them too. So some people think, well, I might not want to get pre-approved. I always think of starting your pre-approval process like a weight, right? We don't want to weigh ourselves kind of sometimes to be like, well, I don't want to step on the scale, right? I don't want to step on the scale to figure out.
I don't want to see how bad it is.
I don't want to see how bad it is. Exactly. I don't want to see how bad it is, but it's something that we, obviously, if you have a goal, it's best to deal with it head on. So same thing with the pre-approval, right? We don't know where we stand. So let's figure out where we are to kind of get to that path of homeownership, and that's what we call it. So we have programs for everyone, literally everyone. So
talk to me a little bit about that, like the pre-approval.
Yeah. So the pre-approval, I kind of check your like background, see where your credit is. If you need credit guidance, we kind of guide you with that. We set you with an action plan. So say your credit's not where the market needs to be. Usually you need a 580 to purchase with an FHA. 620 with the conventional. So let's say you're not on that line,
and then you're at the 680 if you want the 50 grand.
Right. So that's like at least minimum 660 so that we can get you into those programs. So then we help set that guide. So whatever program you fit, here's the game plan. Let's get this credit up here. Let's work on whatever else, your savings, whatever we need to kind of get you into that path.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I always ask everybody on the show, what book are you reading, or would you recommend, or even a podcast if you're not reading a book?
So
what are you into right now?
Right now, I'm into a lot of like trading. So I want to read more. I want to join a book club for sure. That's my goal for this year. But I'm starting to learn more into trading, getting into the market. Because it's so volatile right now that it's I just want to get into it. And I feel like I always have a missed opportunity. I keep telling myself I'm going to learn. And then I learned a little bit and then I kind of venture off. So I'm kind of taking classes on that to kind of figure out, like kind of like day trading a little bit, but also putting my money to make money, right? That's because I feel like sometimes we work so hard, but then I don't want my money just sitting in a bank account, right? I want it to be doing something.
Multiplying.
Right. So that's exactly, right? I want to have multiple streams of income just as everybody else is. That's the main goal. So that's to me right now.
So it's funny because we were talking to Anne, and she was talking about doing like self-directed IRAs. So money any IRAs that you have, you could put it into a self-directed IRA, and then you'd be able to trade your own. And then you can also buy real estate with it, and then you can also lend money out of it. So that would definitely be something you should look into.
Yeah, that's awesome tip. Thank
Yeah.
you for that. That's awesome. Anna's great. So
She is great, and I believe everything
I
she
love
says.
that. Yeah, that's a good idea because I didn't think about that. Obviously, we think about the traditional IRA Roth and this and that. So that is a good input to say to get started into. But yeah, that's what I really want to do. It's like trade, and I want my money to be making money while I'm sleeping.
Yeah.
You know.
And then,
Yeah.
did you buy a multi-unit, or you bought a single?
did.
Good.
So my first
Tell
property.
us, landlady, how is it?
So my first property was in 2016. Anne helped me, and it was scary because I was like, I'm a single mom purchasing this 3-unit property. I don't know how to change anything, right? And I'm like, what am I gonna do if something breaks? Or what am I like? I'm like, I don't care. I don't want to pay rent. I want to build equity, right? Because we know building generational wealth starts with real estate. Like, I don't know any rich, wealthy person that does not own real estate, right? So that was my motto. I'm going to buy real estate and we'll figure it out from there. So when 2016, I bought my first property and I had no idea who to call. It was like pipe leaking. I was like, oh my God. I made a friend with a neighbor. He came, fixed it. And I was like, oh, there's so many good people out there in the world. So I always say it is not a walk in the park to deal with tenants, but there's property managers, there's multiple different things. And that property now, when I bought it back in 2016, it pays the mortgage itself. Like, I don't pay anything out of pocket to pay anything because now, obviously, as we know, the market's going up. The rent is like, I rent each unit, I think $1,800. So my mortgage is $1,700.
Great.
So, because again, I got in the market and I didn't wait. Because some people will say, well, you shouldn't have bought in 2016. You should wait. The prices are going to drop. Look at the prices from 2016 to now. If I waited, what would have happened? I would have never been able to build equity. I would have paid double for my property. So I always suggest that to people. If you're ready to buy. Don't listen to everybody else, because depending on when you bought in 1990, it's not going to be the same market as now. You know what I mean? It's totally different market. So I don't regret it at all. There were some times that, I did YouTube some things and figured out. I changed my own light switch at one point. I was so afraid I was going to electrocute myself. But I did it. And I'm happy. And the light switch still works till this day. I'm not an electrician, but I'm happy. I taught myself something in real estate that helped me kind of go forward, and my tips into real estate and knowing and educating people, right? Because a lot of my first-time buyers, they want that multi. So I'm able to educate people on a process that I have gone through, and I feel that's very important.
Absolutely.
Yep.
And then, did you end up buying a single family after that? Yeah,
I did. So my multi now covers my single. So now I don't pay my mortgage on my multi. I take the profits and cover my mortgage on the other property. So it does help build your portfolio, right? Especially, I always suggest to people, if your goal is to build a portfolio with real estate, purchase that multi first. You can utilize.
I tell that to everyone all the time. I'm like, you're buying your single family home. It's literally costing you money. It's not going to make you any money at all. And then you're going to have to go and you're going to have to spend like 20% to go buy your investment property.
Right.
So even if it's like you have to live in the place for a year, it's really not. It's just 1 year. The year goes by so quickly.
So fast, right?
So fast.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't have a backyard that I wanted to, right, for my daughter, because I was a single mom. My daughter was like 6 at the time. I didn't have that backyard that I wanted to, but I said, I got to look at the bigger picture, right? Sometimes we got to sacrifice in order to get to our bigger dream. So that's what I did. And now, of course, I have a backyard. My dog runs free. You know what I mean?
You're not paying rent or mortgages on 2 houses.
Right. It's just so worth it. I always say that. And you can utilize 5% all the way down. So if you bought your multi, you probably have a lot of equity. Especially if you bought it a year, 2 years ago, take some equity out, buy another property with that equity. You know what I mean? So it's definitely ways to do it. And you can utilize 5% all the way down. So
awesome.
Yeah.
My last question to you is what's your like mantra?
My mantra is words of affirmation. First, I thank God every day. because life to me is very precious. And I would say my mantra is to helping people every day to get them to their goal. I figured out that my life is based on helping people because I've been helping people my whole life kind of thing. And some people are like, well, you're so cliche because what do you mean by that? Well, it's fulfilling for me to see the end game of what your goal is. Like that to me, it makes me happy. So when I start my day, I will say, I want to help as many people as I can. That's like my mantra. Like to me, that fulfills and gives me energy. Like
To serve,
right?
Yeah.
To serve people the best way possible. Because some people are like, well, I think you're so cliche. No, I really, really enjoy that. And I can't tell you, it's not even like get into the closing table. Yes, that fulfills me, but also everyday life, right? Coming here, this is like feeding into my mantra, like, this is so great. That's awesome. I got some tips today, so that's me.
Awesome. I love
you.
that. Thank you.
Yes.
How can people get in touch with you?
So they can call me. I'm really good at texting. Call me at 401-426-8426.
I'm like, say that a little louder.
Yeah, 401-426-8426. You can call me, text me. A lot of people are, I kind of want to make an appointment. I have 3 different offices. I have one in Smithfield, Cumberland, and East Providence. So I can meet you whatever kind of is convenient for you. And then we can set a game plan and then we can go from there.
I love that.
Yes.
Thank you so much for
Thank
being
you for
on.
having me. I'm so
appreciate
excited.
it.
Thank you.
And thank you guys so much for coming and listening and taking this time to be here and to learn and to better yourself and to serve.
Yes.
To serve yourself, really,
Right.
and hopefully to serve others. And again, please like and subscribe.
Yes.
And until next time, we will see you continue to be that energy in the world, that positive energy, and we love you. We'll see you next time.
Bye, guys.
Bye. That's it for today's episode of The Landlady, where we turn your vision into a reality. Remember, success starts in your mind before it ever shows up in your life. Keep believing, keep building, and more importantly, keep taking action. And until next time, trust the process, bet on yourself, and go create the life that you deserve. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this episode with someone who needs to hear it. Love you.